Yo, it's Nate back to Porch Sports Pick'em Show, Week 3 college football. Fun to talk about, little to get to it. So let's get started. We're going to preview the games. We're going to break down what these teams did and then give our predictions for the games. If you want any more information about that, go on Facebook, social, Instagram, all that is out there. But it is good to be back. Week 3, everyone who follows our page, you guys know we're putting out some amazing content, working with others, collaborating, coming up with some fun stuff. But uh, we're here to talk about the Week 3 slate. I call Week 3 Separator Week, Civil War Week. There's a bunch of games where in-state rivals are playing, or just rivals in general are playing. It's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a good week, and we cannot wait to get started. Started Thursday night, I believe. Yes, Thursday night. Um, Sleeper game, Arizona State, Texas State. Makes no sense, I know, but Texas State's loaded. They're a really good team, and Arizona State is coming off two hot wins, especially last weekend, beating Mississippi State, running the ball all over an SEC team. They're coming in that game really hot. It's an away game for them. Weird, I know, but that game's going to be pretty good. So if you are listening to this and you're like, man, what to watch tonight? Thursday night, watch that game. Tomorrow we have a ranked game, Arizona and Kansas State. We're gonna get into that one. Arizona, Kansas State. Kansas State struggled last week with the Tulane team. It seems like Avery Johnson is going through those freshman woes, right? He's learning quickly that this game is fast, and he's learning how to process those slowly. And they're being patient with him. I'm sure they're not calling the entire playbook. I know Kansas State fans are probably thinking this offense is stupid boring, but give him time. This team is very talented. Um, but Arizona comes into Manhattan on Friday night. Arizona team that can score a lot of points. They have fantastic quarterback. Their wide receiver, forgot his name, but he is so good. McMillan, I think it's McMillan. Him and uh, I call him Falafel, but Fatafa, the quarterback of Arizona, he's they're gonna give Kansas State some problems. If Kansas State can run the ball and can control the line of scrimmage, there's a reason why they are a 7-point favorite in this game. Um, I love this game. I think it'll be a fun game to watch, especially on a Friday night. The only game on that I actually care about. It's going to be a good one. It is on Fox. So that being said, I go with Kansas State in this one under the back porch. Goes with Kansas State. Majority of us all picked Kansas State. I think it's going to be closer than the 7-point spread. So, because Kansas State loves playing these games. Historically, they love playing tight games. They love controlling the clock, the line of scrimmage, and beating you close. And that's what they do. And so, and they don't play sloppy football. It's a very well coached team. But Kansas State definitely, to us, will get the win on this weekend. And that opens up a great slate starting Saturday. Saturday is at noon game day at LSU. We have supposed to be a little bit of weather on the docket. I looked at it today. It said 20 to 25% rain. That's really not going to affect the area. It's not going to be monsooning. So in that Gamecock LSU game, so that game is on at 12, and that one. This is this is an interesting game because you have a Gamecock team who just went to Lexington, and nobody. I didn't. I surely didn't. I didn't think Coach Beamer had it in him to go up there with what he had with a freshman quarterback or a new quarterback in Lenore Sellers and beat, not just like, hey, we beat you at home. Like, they literally beat the crap out of Kentucky last week, and it surprised me. I had Kentucky in covering. I had Kentucky because you think of Mark Stoops, Coach Stoops' Kentucky team, they're going to one be tough as nails on the line. They're going to run the ball. They're going to control the clock. They're going to do everything they need to do, right? And yeah, this game is super important um, for South Carolina just because of they host Ole Miss, I believe, and Alabama coming up. This is a game they can get if they play perfect. They have to play very tight on the defense. We know their defensive line is very good. They got to get after the quarterback. They have to come at them. Um, William Bryce, the I know it's a noon game. I know it sucks, but Gamecocks fans, the Gamecock Nation, y'all need to be there. You need to be loud. You need to get ruckus. You need to get it going. I know William Bryce at night. This game would have been amazing with the lights and everything in Sandstorm, but it can be the same thing at noon. Become a factor in this game for LSU because um, that place gets loud, and LSU they play at loud places, and this is a very underrated place in the SEC. uh, South Carolina has to be able to methodically move the ball down the field, and that means either using Lenore Sellers' legs. The kid is an athlete. The kid's a freak. He can. You saw last week in the Kentucky game what he could do when just freestyling. So we know LSU's defense isn't that good. They're losing. They lost another lineman this week. Their Perkins is moving down to another position for them. So they got holes in their defense. Um, but is it enough to stop South Carolina? I mean, you asked me 4 weeks ago, if this game was going to be a game day game. This was going to be a phenomenal game to watch at the noon slate. I would have told you you're high as crap. But looking at what they did last week, the year's still young, so it could have been fool's gold last week. But you just don't go into Kentucky and beat Kentucky the way you did. Um, Either it says more about Kentucky or says a lot about South Carolina. We'll find out on Saturday. This LSU team can score. They can put it together. Um, I, they the LSU has everything to lose in this game because if they lose this game and start 1-2 this season, this is a bad year for them. Can they make it up later in the season? Sure. But you go 1-2 and lose on a road game that you're supposed to be winning, especially when you have more talent, you have more depth and everything, to South Carolina, and you're a 7-point favorite. That's a big thing, and a lot of people will be very disgruntled if you lose this game. If they're able to stay clean, if they're able to stay um, if they're able to run the ball, not a lot, but if they're able to run the ball to affect the passing game, if they can keep South Carolina's safeties, you know, playing some guessing games, right? Because if they're just going to come out and throw the ball like they did, you're going to see what happened against them again, like with USC. Ironically, this is another USC, so we'll see. We predict in this one LSU puts it together. Brian Kelly and his staff have a great week of practice. They put it all together. They find somewhat of a running game, and this will be Nussmeier's really his first big game where he can show his skills and we can see what he can do. I got LSU in this one. I think South Carolina covers this game just because it is a home game. Weather permitting, it might be a running game first for both teams. We'll see, but I don't think it's going to affect the passing attack on LSU, and I think LSU does enough with their athletes and their coaching to put this game away in the fourth quarter. But I think South Carolina does cover the 7. So South Carolina +7 in this one. LSU gets the win though, and it's a big road win for them. Crazy to think, but it just pads their stats for a crazy hard year for both of these teams. But LSU does get this one. Another noon game that people are trying to hype up is the Alabama Wisconsin game. Alabama Wisconsin, right? Well, Alabama, they look bad, blah blah blah. They played USF 2 years in a row. They look sloppy. They look bad. Yeah, people are freaking out. They're hitting the alarms. Forewarning guys. This is Alabama. This is juggernauts. They do what they do every year. They start slow. They start games slow. It's the Bama way. That's what they're going to do. You don't think this week at practice they fixed all of their holdings, all of their sloppiness. They don't think they looked in the film room and said, "Oh, Wisconsin, a bunch of slow Big Ten kids. We have more athletes than them. We have more size than them. We're going to walk into Camp Randall and we're going to beat the living crap out of them." There's a reason why this game was set at 14 or 16? 16, right? On the under at 50 and a half. I believe they'll hit the under because they're not going to let Wisconsin score. Bama's defense is going to come into this game in a big way, like they did in the fourth quarter against USF. I think USF is a better team than Wisconsin. If you put USF versus Wisconsin in a neutral ground, a neutral game, I think USF wins those games 3 out of 2 every time. Bama is going to finally figure out offensively what they are. They know they have a phenomenal athlete in Milroe. They have that wide receiver, the freshman wide receiver, who's been killing it. They're going to get the ball to him. They're going to find a way to get their athletes in space, and they're going to win this game. It's not going to be close whatsoever at all. And they are not probably going to outscore them. I mean, they're going to outscore them for sure, but they're not going to put it on them. So I would take the under in this game, and I believe Bama does cover the 16 in this. Wisconsin has no quarterback. They Tyler Van Dyke. They have no. You think of Wisconsin football back in the day, and it's like, okay, running backs like heaven, just hogs up front, and they control the clock. That's not the same Wisconsin anymore. They got Luke Fickell there. He's trying to figure out. He's trying to get the guys he needs to run this program, and it's just in a bad year. It's his second year. He's got Bama coming to town. The place will be rocking, but it'll be very quiet by halftime. So take Bama with the spread in this one and take the under for sure at that 12 o'clock slate. The next 12 o'clock game, we don't really be talking about this if Florida State had just done their job and been undefeated at this point. But right now, Memphis coming into town. This is a group of 5 team that can score a lot of points. It's a group of 5 team that can play some good defense too. So don't ever, ever, ever underestimate a Memphis team. This is the same team that Mike Norvell used to coach, and that he got his job at Florida State. So, I don't know if that factors into this. I don't think it does. But Florida State needs to show us something this week. They need to show us some type of offense. They need to get the balls to their athletes in space, and they need to methodically move that ball down the field and keep the throwing under 25 attempts, under 20 if you have to. Use your guys, use your athletes. Take Memphis out early with your line. Your defense, someone needs to step up and be a playmaker here. I know you guys got a bunch of dudes from the portal. You got to find a way to gel. Got to find a way to stop Memphis on offense, because if you give those guys an inch, they're going to take the whole yard or more on you. That's what they do. They will find the hole in your defense and they will exploit it the whole game. That's what all group of 5s do with a really good offense. So I expect this game to be entertaining. I expect hopefully Doak Campbell at noon, the fans show up. We'll see. It's one of those things where it's like, are they that fed up? Like, you just had a great season last year. Like, got to support this team. You got to have their backs, because if they lose this game, it's not like Mike Norvell's career's on the line or whatever. It's just it's just going to spiral from there. We've got a lot of finger pointing, a lot of culture issues in the locker room if you lose this game. This is a good get-back game for them. It might be ugly, but I believe Florida State can win this game. I don't know if they cover the 6.5. Who knows? I just know that, hey, Florida State needs to win this game, and we're picking Florida State to get it right. And it doesn't mean anything about Memphis. Memphis is going to be a good bubble team for that group of five, those teams that are trying to get into the playoff at that 12 slot this year. So, hear us out, write it down, pencil it in. Memphis is not going away. If they lose this game close, it's honestly a positive for them. So I don't see them getting blown out at all in this game. The next game, I mean, it's a full slate, guys. The next game, Boston College, Missouri. Missouri, number 6 in the nation, hosting a Boston College team who's ranked 24. A, uh, a team that you would never in your mind think that ranks 24 week 3 in the season, but here we are. Boston College, it was a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful story of them going down to Doak Campbell and winning and beating a Florida State team who hasn't figured it out yet. But that sadly ends very badly in Missouri. Missouri's bringing back all you got to Cook and Luther Burden. That's all they need to do. Cook Luther Burden all day. Cook Luther Burden all day. Their defense is going to be fine. They have athletes everywhere. I know they're replacing a bunch of guys on defense, but it'll be their first time their defense will be tested to a real opponent. But it ain't going to affect them. I don't foresee this game being close at all. Vegas has a 16-point favorite. I believe that's accurate. I think Missouri they might start slow, but come second, third quarter, Coach Drink and those guys, they're going to figure it out, and they're just going to outscore them, and they're going to score big. Missouri's still a dark horse. To me, they have such a weak schedule, but they have to win games big like this when they get a chance and opportunity. So they're going to take those opportunities and show the nation that they're worth being in that top 10 position for sure. Moving on to the Oregon State game, 3:30 on Fox. This is going to be a fun game to watch. This is Oregon's get back game, and it sucks because they're playing an in-state rival who loathes them, just hates them, and definitely wants to just put their face in the mud and smear it because of what happened with the Pac-12. Like Oregon State being left out, they had the taste in their mouth, losing Coach Smith last year to Michigan State. Like they have so much to prove. And Oregon has a lot to prove to us. They have a ton to prove to the nation that they can find an offensive line and a defensive line to stop the teams that are coming up on their schedule. This is going to be a cat and dog scratching fight, and it's going to be fun to watch. I don't believe in 16 and a half. 16 and a half, Vegas has Oregon as a favorite. I think Oregon State covers 16 and a half. It's going to be ugly football, and Oregon has to win these games. Like they gave up so many points to Boise State last week. And Oregon State runs the ball. I don't think they can throw it that well. So they're going to try to control that line of scrimmage, and we'll see if Oregon can step up and play big boy football. And it's the way things happen in Corvallis. Be on the lookout. We have Oregon State winning. We have Oregon winning this one, but Oregon State covering. The next 3:30 game, there's a couple 3:30 games. There's actually 3 that are coming up. Oklahoma, Tulane, number 15 in the nation versus Tulane. You look at it, you're like, this is stupid. But this is a get-back game. This is a get-right game for Oklahoma because next week they host a Tennessee team who has proven that they are really good. And that was no fluke last week. And they have the skills and the players and the depth to go on the road and embarrass an Oklahoma team if they don't strap up their boots and put on their head and focus on what they need to do. This game is a huge game for them. They have to come out and figure out if their offensive line is going to be any good. Who's going to step up? Who's going to manhandle and be the leader on this offensive line? Because if not, Tulane's going to give them problems throughout the day and Tulane can score. That's the thing. Oklahoma's defense did pretty good against Houston, but Tulane can score. Tulane's better than Houston. So we'll see in this game. We have Oklahoma winning this game, but it's going to be close. So don't be thinking, oh, they're gonna blow them out or whatever. They could have a come to Jesus this week and figured out their program, but we'll see. A surprising good game at 3:30. Notre Dame at Purdue. Weird things happen in West Lafayette. My life, I've seen some weird things happen. I've seen a Ohio State team go in there and get blown out. I've seen an Iowa team go in there and get blown out. Just it's weird. I don't understand it. Um, this is a Notre Dame game that they have to show improvement from last week. They have to. You got your teeth kicked in at home against a group of five team who's good. I'm not taking away their what they did, but they can't come out and play the way they do because this Purdue team, I don't care who you are, they're going to try to upset you. They love being the underdog at home and they love taking down ranked teams. So be on the alert of that game at 3:30 on CBS. Notre Dame's only a 9.5 point favorite. I think Purdue covers that, and honestly, I think Purdue might win. I think Purdue might win that game. I don't think this Notre Dame team has it, and I think Purdue is year two with their new head coach, and he's got them rolling. He's getting them where they need to go. The next game at 3:30, Florida and Texas A&M. God, this game has. I mean, we could sit an hour and break this game down, but if Eugene Wilson doesn't play this game, and uh, I think if he doesn't play this game, that's the Florida offense. At the end of the day, you're gonna start Lagway or not start Lagway. I don't know what uh, Billy Napier's doing if he's gonna do a dual quarterback system in this game. It's not gonna work because Texas A&M is gonna come into this game. Their defensive line is hungry, and they're gonna come and just like how Miami did, they're gonna get after the quarterback. I think Texas A&M, you know, they're figuring it out. Elko's a good coach, but they have way more talent and way more depth than Florida in this game. And it's at 3:30, and just I think Texas A&M beats them. I think they beat them by way more than 3.5 in this one. Florida's they have a culture problem. They have issues. I mean, yeah, last week they beat Samford with Lagway. Wow, he looks so good playing JV football. But this isn't JV football. This is a really good Texas A&M defense, like it or not. Whatever you think of Texas A&M because they lost to Notre Dame, whatever. But it was a close game, and I think Texas A&M scored a lot of points last week against a little, McNeese or whatever. But they came out and threw the ball. They came out and got the ball to their athletes, and I think Texas A&M is going to prove a point on Saturday here by beating Florida in the swamp. And then at that point, the seat's already on lava fire for Billy Napier. So we'll see what happens here. A lot of rumor mill going around Gainesville right now, and a lot of things happening. So we'll see in that one. Uh, there's a lot of 3:30 games. There's a good one, a really good one. The old backyard brawl, West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Pitt, nasty, nasty hate here. West Virginia, it's a get back game. They need to get back and show that they can't play sloppy. They played sloppy against Penn State, and that's the reason why they lost. It wasn't the weather, it was their mistakes. Can West Virginia play good football at Pitt? It looks like Pitt is about halfway back to where their dominance was, which means this is a really good defense. Pitt's defense is going to dominate this game. I believe they're going to control the line of scrimmage and get after West Virginia. The last time they played it was a really good game. The fans are going to be loud. It's going to be there. I believe Pitt beats West Virginia in this game. And don't be surprised, though, if it goes down to the wire. These teams hate each other, and it's going to be a really fun game to watch. I'm excited for that one. After that, there's midweek 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock games are okay. They're not the best. But then you get down to the 7 p.m. slot, and there's okay games. If you're looking for a sneaky good game at that slot, that Indiana UCLA game on NBC Peacock, that game's going to be really good. This is an Indiana team that no one's talking about. Right now, their defense is ranked in the top 10 in the nation, which is weird for Indiana, but their offense is really good. And they have to go across the country, which is never easy at all, especially if you're leaving tiny rural Indiana and going to the big city. UCLA played in the Rose Bowl. UCLA has a lot to prove in this one. It's their first. I think it's their second Big Ten game. Um, I believe it's going to be really good. I think Indiana's going to get the win. I think Indiana's got more firepower. I think they have more. They're just a year ahead, more of ahead of on pace when it comes to UCLA. I think Indiana gets this win. I think Indiana's a 3-point favorite. I think they cover that. But like I said, we're talking about that these 7:30 games. That's a really good sneaky game. The Georgia Kentucky game, I'm not even going to break it down. It's Georgia. They're the best team in the nation. They're going to win that game. And the 24 is the spread on that. Georgia covers 24 easily. Then you get down to the two games that that are at 7:30. USF and TCU. These teams are very, very similar when it comes to offensive style and how they run their programs. UCF has to go into uh, Almond Carter Stadium, and that I've been there. That place can rock, and it's only I think UCF is a two point favorite in this game. I think TCU with Sonny Dykes. I think this is a game where they can win. It's winnable. They have to play clean football. UCF is going to come in there polished with their offense with KJ Jefferson and the running back was Harvey. They're going to run the ball. You got to stop the run. You got to stop the run, TCU, if you're going to win this game. I think they can. I think this is going to be a really good win for them. So I got TCU winning this game at home against UCF as a big win for a program that was in the national championship a couple years ago. It takes a while to get your guys back up. Colorado State. This game, throw the numbers out the window, throw everything out like last year. Colorado State came into Colorado that game last year, and they smacked them in the mouth. They smacked them in the mouth, and they really threw them back. And it took the entire game for Colorado to put Colorado State away. That might not be the case this year. I think Colorado knows what Colorado State has, and Colorado State knows what they had, and they have another year of getting better. So that means it's going to be a sold out in Fort Collins. It's going to be as loud as they can get at Colorado State. This will be a very entertaining game on CBS. Colorado State doesn't have the line and the defense Nebraska has. It's going to be more of an evenly matched game when it comes down to the line play. We're going to see Shader. He's going to have more time to throw the ball. We're going to see Hunter and those wide receivers get open and do what they're supposed to do. Colorado, there's no slouch. Colorado State's no slouch. They're going to put some points up because it's still the same Colorado defense. This one's really, to me, I know it's hard. 7 points is the favorite. The over is 57. I would take the over in this game for sure. It's going to be 63, 64 overs in this one. I don't see any defense stopping anything. I believe Colorado it's a get right game for them. I think getting embarrassed last week did a lot for them. So we'll see. I have Colorado winning this game as the favorite. There's nothing against Colorado State. I just think Colorado has more athletes and a better quarterback in this one. So, and the rest of the games of the week, Houston Rice pretty much battle domination of the city of Houston. Fresno State, New Mexico State. It's besides all the games that we just covered, it's going to be a very lackluster Saturday. But man, it's going to be fun to watch. So get that quad box, get your snacks ready, get everything. And there's some good games in each time slot, right? So remember to always follow, like, and share. Follow us if you love us. Comment with us. Be around on our social medias. Interact with us. Leave us a review on Spotify and Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts and stuff. We love you guys. Peace out. Have a great Saturday. And see you guys next week.